Hi friends, Father Scott again. Today is the feast day of St. Philip Neri, and St. Philip is one of my favorites. And he lived in the 1500s, he died in 1595, and he ministered at a time that was very challenging for the church. It was the time following the Reformation, and there was a challenge, particularly in Rome at the time, about a kind of a lag in the evangelical zeal on the part of some of the clergy. And St. Philip Neri set himself to try and combat this. And he did this by being very innovative in the different ways that he presented the gospel to the people of Rome. And he was so effective and so creative in doing this that he is called the Apostle of Rome. And he inspired many others. For a long time, he ministered in Rome, and he was not even ordained. He was a lay person. But eventually, he did become a priest, and he gathered around him a group of priests and lay people who were always finding new and innovative ways to present the gospel and to build up people's faith in the city of Rome. Some of these new ways that he employed challenged traditional ways of being Christian, but he was always trying new things and presenting the gospel in a new way, in whatever way was necessary, and always cheerfully, always with the joy of the Lord being readily evident in his life. In our first reading for today, we see St. Paul is on his way back to Jerusalem, and he's been warned by the Holy Spirit that when he goes, that there are some serious trials and imprisonment even that is awaiting him. So in our first reading, he is greeting a group of Christians from churches that he's planted in Turkey. And he says, I'm not going to be, the Spirit has revealed to me that we will never meet again. But I want you to know that I have done everything that I could, Paul says, to make sure that you have heard the true gospel, the good news of Jesus Christ. I've done everything I can. And that's what St. Philip Neri did, everything he could to make sure that the people heard the gospel in a way that they could understand and receive. And that's the calling of each of us. May each of us, when we come to the end of our days, whether we are ordained, whether we're clergy, or whether we're lay people, may each of us, when we come to the end of our days and stand before the Lord, be able to say, I did everything that I could in my life to make Jesus known, through the way that I lived my life and the way that I spoke the truth to everyone that I knew. May God help us to come to the end of our lives with this same, being able to say this same thing, that I have done everything that I could for the Lord. Then we will enter into the reward that has been prepared for us. And we will hear the Lord say to us, well done, good and faithful servant. God bless you, and I'll be talking to you again soon.